Excuse the interruption, but I'm Peyton Halverson. Johnny, you've had a foreign exchange student living with you for 3 months now. Is he starting to rub off on you?
I'm Johnny Heisler, and come to think of it, no, he has not. But I have been noticing I've been eating a lot more Wiener Schnitzel.
What about that German accent?
What accent? I don't have an accent. You have an accent.
So nothing else has rubbed off on you?
Absolutely nothing. Edelweiss, Edelweiss.
Welcome to ETI, boys and girls. Today we have toss-up, big finish, and a few good seconds with Timo Scher. But first, we're going to start off with the headlines. Johnny, were you satisfied with the way the football season went this year?
It was a disappointing season for the Bearcats. We were expecting to be somewhat competitive against the tough teams in our region coming off a good season last year. But I guess we missed our receiver core, Weston and Quolving, more than we thought we would. Timo helped out, especially on the defensive side of the ball. We had some nice games, but we played 3 of the top 5 teams in the state, which left us in a tough spot standing-wise. Peyton, if things would have went the other way in the regional volleyball tournament, how well do you think the girls would have competed at the state tournament?
Well, considering we beat Langdon for the Deluxe tournament title, and Langdon came out second at the state tournament, I think we would have competed very well. We would have more than likely been seeded first, so our first round game would have been pretty easy. The second night we probably would have ended up playing Lamar, so that would have been a tough game, but we still could have came out on top. The Dakota Bowl is over. Were you surprised by any of the results?
Most people were expecting Richland to run away with the 9-man title, but it was nice to see that North Prairie kept it close, and it was probably the most exciting game of the day. What was most surprising to me was to see how many players played both sides of the ball in a AAA game.
I would have liked to see Minot or Killdeer win. Losing for 2 straight years in a state championship must suck.
Oh, and don't forget Beulah's Fumblerooski and Richland's Hook and Ladder. Those were spectacular. Peyton, there was some controversy over in the regular season volleyball game in Langdon. They had marked up the playing floor with masking tape and had their hands up during the serves. Fair or foul?
For marking up the floor with tape, I'd say that's pretty foul, and I think there should be a rule against that. It had to have some advantage to them, or it wouldn't be there. As for the hands in the air, I think that's a case of the refs not knowing the rules. They need to be watching the game. Our coaches even brought it up to them, but they still weren't calling anything. In the regional tournament, Langdon did get called a couple times for that, so at least those refs knew the rules.
And now it's time to play a game of 50-50, which we call toss-up. Apparently, it's such a demanding job that it takes 2 people to ask the questions. Kale, what's the first one?
Thanks, Johnny. Number 1. Will the football team make playoffs in 2016?
Yes. We only lose 1 starting senior, and we return all of our skill position. The other teams in the region lose a lot more than we do.
I'm going to have to say no. We only beat Midway, Benson, and DVE. Midway and DVE have not been the top teams for many years, and Benson had their worst team in a long time. The better teams in the region may be losing more than us, but that doesn't make up for a 50-point difference in the scoring. The games you guys lost, you got pounded on, so I just don't see it happening for the next Bearcat season.
Macy, what's the second one?
Number 2. Will the girls' basketball team win the Ramsey County tournament?
Yes, losing Sarah will hurt the Bearcats, but we still have a strong nucleus coming back. With Edmore losing Fallon Frigi, this could be the Bearcats' year, not only for the tournament, but also for regions and districts.
I need to see where the scoring's coming from before I'm a believer. Macy scored 18 points a game last year, but after that, no one scored more than 8. The Ramsey might be down this year, but I'm going to go with Devils Lake JV taking this one. And 4 wins Minnewacan is going to give the Bearcats a run for their money too. They're really deep this year. Next question.
Number 3. Will North Star put 2 players on the all-state volleyball team?
There is a 100% chance that we will have at least 1 player on the all-state team. Macy is a certainty, but I also think Faith has a better than even chance on being on the team.
Well, obviously I hope you're right, but I think other setters in the state are going to beat out Faith. Our Redeemers and Lemoore had great underclassmen setters last year, and they're really going to benefit for going to the state tournament again this year. So I'm reluctantly saying no. And now we have a few good seconds with the German foreign exchange student, Timo Storer, who made a bit of a name for himself on the football team this year. Hello, Timo.
Hey, Johnny.
Timo, What sports did you play in Germany?
Yes, I did kickboxing in Germany, but I didn't play football, so it was my first time to play football here.
How hard was it to learn football?
It wasn't too hard because we had practice nearly every day, and the other players helped me a lot. But I struggled with the routes at the beginning sometimes, but I figured it out after a while.
Are you going to play basketball this year?
Yeah, I think so. I went to open gym for a month now, so I assume so that I'm going to play basketball.
What's the biggest difference between school here and school back home in Germany?
We don't have homework in Germany, and after each 2 hours we have a 20-minute break. And another big difference is that the sports are not connected to the school.
Thanks, Timo. That's it for a few good seconds. And now it's time for the big finish. Peyton, who is the likely candidate to replace Sarah Hagler on the girls' basketball team?
Based on what went on at the Minot team camp this summer, the starting lineup will be Macy, Stephanie, Maddie, Brenna Logie, and I. The first four started last year, and Logie was the first off the bench, so it should be a veteran group this year. Johnny, after having Mr. Hagler as head coach for 10 years of basketball, how do you think Mr. Vogt will do?
I think Mr. Vogt will do a good job replacing Mr. Hagler. He has been coaching with Mr. Hagler since he started teaching here, and he knows the game well. How are last year's seniors doing on the college level so far?
Sarah redshirted at Moorhead State. I imagine it was hard not seeing any game time action. Christian Quilving has gotten into 3 games at Jamestown and is averaging just under 5 points per game. Alex Weston is 6th man at Lake Region and is just averaging 5.5 points per game.
That's it. We're all out of time. We'll try and do better next time.
Good night, knuckleheads.
Good night, Can Do.